Hello and welcome back to the review. This week we watched and reviewed the film Almost Famous in 2000, directed by Cameron Crowe and starring Kate Hudson, Billy Crudup, Anna Paquin, loads of others. So what do you think?
Thought
That was
good.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Good movie choice. Also, I forgot how much I loved Kate Hudson.
She's fabulous. Yeah, she actually got nominated for an Oscar for her part in it.
Did she?
Really?
Yeah,
Unreal.
she got
Who
nominated
was she in it? I don't know
Penny.
actors' names at all.
for
I love her.
Penny? Yeah.
Penny,
Yeah.
yeah, Penny Lane, yeah.
What's that called? How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I haven't watched much of her
Yeah.
movie, but I love her in that movie.
That is actually good.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was brilliant in it. I think somebody else got nominated for. Some other actor got nominated for an Oscar. Hang on. I know it got an Oscar for best screenplay. Well, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
The music as well. I think there's something about them kind of getting nominated.
So good.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
soundtrack is so good.
Because they're all famous songs, and it's very
Yeah.
rare that like a film that actually goes ahead and they get the right to use it and stuff. Yeah. What kind of songs popped out to you actually? Kind of.
Oh, I'm trying to think of the names of them.
Think-
I can't think of the names at the
I
moment.
don't do exactly.
Favorite
that.
boys.
So bad for names.
Yeah, there was a lot of like Led Zeppelin. And,
Yeah.
like, there was two
Yeah.
on kind of the biggest moments of it. Yeah.
It's just like such good like classic rock was playing. Like, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, this is a vibe. Like,
Yeah.
Such a good coming of age movie too.
yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. I feel like it's different from other like coming of age movies as well. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
It's because of like it being in like the 70s and all,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the like rock and roll era.
Yeah, it's kind of mad. Do you remember the scene with where they're all on the bus actually, and the song kind of comes on?
Tiny Dancer.
Yeah, Tiny Dancer.
Yeah.
And they all
Oh yeah.
sing along to it. Then they're all kind of having an argument, but they can't really
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
join in. It's like all kind of resolved then, but then it comes back
Yeah.
and arguments and stuff.
Yeah, no, the story was really good.
Yeah, I love the story.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like how it's amazing how like defunct, like dysfunctional the whole thing was, but they still like had a job to do, so they went out and they did it, even though like under it all they hated each other. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
funny.
It is brilliant. Like, yeah.
Do you remember what really stands out for me now is say when the opening credits were it was started with like kind of him writing down names in his bedroom.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all
Oh
you saw.
yeah.
And then it went like to the B-roll of like where was it?
In San Diego.
San Diego, yeah.
And like you could tell straight away by like the clothes, the cards,
Yeah.
you knew straight away what year you were, where you
Yeah.
were,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
And then they went to the scene of like the boy had just watched the film with his mother. It was the Mockingbird.
Kill a
How
Mockingbird.
to Kill a Mockingbird, and she makes like a comment at the guy cleaning the window, where he's doing like Xmas. And
She's
then
like, it's Christmas or Happy Holidays.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck off. Go away, like.
She's brilliant in it though, Frances McDormand.
Yeah.
I think she was the one who was nominated for an Oscar actually.
yeah,
In it, but I love like her relationship with the kids. Like even though she's so strict and she's like, no, you can't listen to Simon and Garfunkel, they're on pot. Like, and she's like, she's still kind of, even though she kind of like is really strict and daughter, so she kind of respects her decisions sometimes. Like even when they were in the car and William was like, why is everyone in my ear like so much smaller? Tiny. And she was like, you have to tell him now. And the mother's like, no. She's like, no, ma'am, you kind of have to tell him. And she kind of still listens to her as well. And even
Yeah,
like,
no.
Yeah.
no, I'm going to be an air stewardess. She's like, well, you're 18. I can't really stop you. Like, so.
That was the best part for me, for the relationship between the mother and daughter. It was like, yeah, they clearly don't get along, but like the mother clearly understood the daughter needed a bit of freedom, and she was 18, so it's like I can't stop you anymore. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And she was like to the brother, someday you'll be cool. It's so cute. Like that.
he like the record under his beds and stuff, and one of the records had a note. It was I forget which song it was.
It was
now.
like, light a candle, listen to this, and you'll see your entire future. Or something like that.
He's just amazed by it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's it. Then he grows up to like love rock and roll and everything about it. Yeah.
I know the band the band Stillwater was real, but it wasn't like, you know, it was a completely different thing. Like it
I know
wasn't
it
the
wasn't
same.
based off them. It was like semi autobiographical of the writer Cameron Crowe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading
Went
that. That's
down like
mad.
Rolling Stone something, but it wasn't like exactly like this isn't what happened like or anything.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of
Um,
based off.
It was like loosely based on like his when he was a teenager.
I
Yeah,
thought it was a really interesting way to do a biopic, even though the band isn't real. Like, but it was a really interesting. Like, you know, Yesterday, the Beatles movie.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
That was like a really interesting take on a biopic. Like that's the same thing. Like it was just taken from a completely different angle than you'd expect it to be if you were
Yeah.
doing a biopic of like a band. Like you'd
Right.
go traditional like Bohemian Rhapsody or something, but no, it's just let's take it from the reporter's like view. It was
Yeah,
really interesting.
yeah.
Even talking about the Beatles there, I know it's like Penny Lane's name was actually took from like a song
From
Yeah.
the Beatles, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was like her made up name. And then her real name then we found out later on was Lady. I forget her last name
Lady
now.
Goodman.
Yeah, Lady Goodman.
Goodman, yeah.
Her mother was like, I want you to marry up and be like all classy, and so she decided to call her Lady, and she was like, my name was so bad I had to do it.
Changed it to a Beatles song, like.
Yeah, Penny Lane, yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of it until you recommended it.
Really?
Yeah, same.
No, I'd never heard of it.
Really good.
I think
Really
the first
good.
time I watched it, I was like 16 or 17, and that's kind of what made me want to get into film.
Yeah.
Really?
Like that movie and like a couple of Kevin Smith movies and stuff. Yeah.
It's
But
actually
they were like, when I was like,
it's a highly it's a 5-star rated film.
yeah.
And it's review we watched it on Now TV and they're like 5-star
I think it's like 9 or
films. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty good though.
Yeah, it is really good. It's a bit long though,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's kind of like if you took anything away from it, it would actually take away
Yeah.
from the film. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was very long. At
Yeah.
least for me.
Yeah.
Just the fucking
my God, I
extended
had-
version. 2
Yeah.
hours
I
and
had to
40
watch
minutes.
it as well, Adam.
Did you?
I
It's
had to-
so
Oh my God. Like I had to get it up on Put Locker and then it wouldn't work. And then I don't know what website it was on, but it was the extended version. And I was like, why is it so long? And then I realized once you said it.
On Now TV, it's like the extended version as well. I don't know why everywhere you look, it's the extended version. I don't know what. Yeah.
it's a lot better, I'd say. Because apparently
Yeah.
the non-extended like leaves out a lot of character development and shit.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was up till 3 watching it like after work.
God.
So long.
I was up
like,
even later.
oof.
I
But it was
watched
worth
it.
it. It
Yeah,
was like a
it's
good
worth it.
good
It
pacing.
It was a good watch.
Yeah, I think the costume was done so well for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like completely
Definitely.
overstated. Like 70s, it was actually what people wore in the 70s rather than like,
Yeah.
I think a lot of times when
Yeah.
people do that, they kind of do like an exaggerated version of like what people
Oh,
wore.
100%.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, well, it was just kind of understated at times and overstated at other times, but it was perfect, I thought. Yeah.
I think it goes into like one of those categories of movies as well. It's kind of like timeless. Like you could watch it at any stage, like even in another 20 years, and it's just like one of those movies that will just like never age. It'll always be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the story is just so good. Like he's lying to Rolling Stones, being like, "What? Yeah, no, I'm 18 or whatever, and my old lady's hollering at me on the phone." Da da da. Like, he's actually 15 years old and he's touring around with his band and can't get home. Brilliant, yeah.
They keep dragging them along to like different parts of the country. And it's like you get to see like kind of a lot of like the US as well, and like
Yeah.
the time and the duration of it is very good. Like I found it hard like to kind of see, like I thought it was like when I was watching I thought it was like 6 months, but it was actually just like 1 month. And like
Yeah, and it kind of gives you the idea of like how
like
crazy it is to kind of be on tour. Like you're in one city for 2 days and then you're going straight to another for another 2 days, and that's all you do for like a whole year.
Yeah,
It is kind of madness when you think about it. It's like, how do people actually do that? Like,
I know.
it is pretty crazy. I think it gave kind of a good insight into kind of like the idolization of like the music industry.
yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no point in idolizing these people really, like
Yeah.
No.
when like you take away the whole like on stage and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the image of perfection like that's portrayed to you obviously isn't really what's going on in the background. Like,
Yeah. Like even like when everyone's thinking of like, oh, rock and roll and drugs and sex and everything, it's great. And then when you see Russell, the guitarist of the band, when he goes to like some kid's house party and like takes a load of acid and drinks everything, like
So funny.
Yeah.
after the next day, and he's actually just let the whole band down. Like, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
who did you think it is? Like, yeah.
That
So
scene
funny.
when they were
Go
on
on,
the
sorry.
roof and your man was like screaming that he's a golden god. And
Yeah.
he was like, my final words, I'm on drugs. And your man was like, William was like, maybe you should rethink your final words.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
That was brilliant.
Yeah. What else kind of standing out for you actually? Is there any like scenes kind of?
I thought it was really interesting that a lot of it bordered on him trying to get the interview with his name,
Russell.
the guitarist Russell. Yeah. Him trying to get the interview with Russell, and every time he went to get it, he was interrupted with some like band issue, like, you know, the t-shirts or whatever, or, you know, crazy.
And it was like, just come to Cleveland, we'll do it in Cleveland. He's like, I have to graduate high school.
Yeah.
It's just brilliant. Like,
even when he walked into like the what was it, the magazine company, and everybody's looking at him like, and even the receptionist like, there's a kid here saying he's here for you, like, you know.
Yeah.
And he just walked in with like all the sticky notes, and like it's like he used the word chick, you know, you can't use.
Yeah,
it's like I'm offended, like the woman was saying.
She was like, as a woman, I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, give me one more day, and they're like, I was like, totally not getting it now. It's like odd out, like they give it to him, and it's really impressive, like.
Yeah, it's kind of a relaxed film with the narrative that somewhat keeps you on your toes, but like you don't love it, but it's still kind of just there in the background, which I liked. Yeah.
It brought back such a funny memory for me because this is so tragic, but like 2 years ago, I had like a pass from LTFE, and we used it going to like Live 95FM before, and me and Molly went to EP, and Molly was trying to convince me to bring this pass that we could go like backstage and all this. I was like, Molly, that is not how it works. Like, text her at 4 o'clock in the morning being like, I'm watching this movie, and it just brought back the funniest memory. She genuinely thought we were like, you know, backstage and just all these celebrities from a pass from LTFE.
Oh my goodness. That would have been brilliant. That's mad.
Was anyone else like, sorry?
Oh yeah, I was saying even like I found with like a lot of films you watch, like they kind of like put it around one location. I think the only location they kind of kept repeating to was like the bus, and then it wasn't even the bus, then it was the plane, you know, and it's just kind of, that was the only element you could kind of tie them to. There was no familiarities. They were always traveling and always going and stuff. So it was kind of like tough out kind of watching it, like. Yeah.
I think the script was so well done for like the characters of even like Penny Lane, like when halfway through, do you know the way she's always kind of like traveling around with him or whatever, but he is his wife, and she just kind of acts like it's non-existent. And then when William kind of freaks out and he's like, well, Russell sold you to another band to be the roadie for $50 in a case of beer. And even the way she started crying at first, then she kind of laughed off because she always knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Almost like it was like, how could someone just go around knowing that like it's going to end at some stage? Like, but yeah, no, I just thought that was kind of clever.
Yeah, it was really interesting how she kept mentioning like real life and saying that it wasn't real life what they were doing. And William was like, well, when does this real life start for you? Because, you know, you're just kind of traveling around and pissing around, you know?
Yeah.
That was always interesting to me, like, seeing that.
Yeah, like, she doesn't go by her real name. She just travels around saying, oh, I'm not in the real world. Like, it's just a load of people that want to live in a fantasy.
Yeah.
Once you're not on a tour bus, then it doesn't exist. And then it was kind of cool to see when Russell rang her at the end being like, I'm going to come to you this time. We saw her in, like, a normal setting. She was, like, doing her dishes in like a small little kitchen with like her hair tied up and stuff, and it was like, oh, she's in the real world now, like.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I was always thinking, like, watching it, I was like, when does it come to the point where they like, okay, we need to start acting responsible, get a job, you know, make money, you know, like not the band, like they were making whatever they were making, but like the groupies and the, you know, the other people around them were like, just there. Like they were just on for the ride, nothing else.
Yeah, exactly.
Really weird.
They were just so disconnected from the real world, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even one of the groupies at the end of it was saying like, we know what you did to William, and even Penny Lane knows what you did. And there's a table of groupies and another table, and like you never saw her being condescending at any stage of the film. And she kind of goes, they don't even use birth control or anything like that, or
Yeah.
They eat all the steak.
Yeah. It's like they don't love music.
Yeah.
They're just like, it's just like they're just there, and it like sickens her to see like that as well.
Yeah.
I was wondering, is that like a thing? Is it now? Is that like in the music industry? Does it kind of develop? And like, is that kind of there nowadays? Like,
I suppose it is like,
yeah,
I'd say so, yeah.
yeah, like there is still people who like follow around whole tours and stuff where like,
yeah,
I don't know, they just end up popping
I'd
up.
say it's even more like, okay,
And
obviously it's a bit different now, but I'd say it's so much like, obviously you probably don't hear about it as much, but like, do you know what, everything's online. Like, imagine like the way it would be these days, because these people would be like so stalkerish. Like, you post a picture on Instagram and they'd like know your location.
yeah,
Stands,
exactly. Like, yeah,
yeah.
it is kind of weird, like, yeah, when you think about it.
It is like I can't remember, but like I'm on Twitter, and like, do you know, if any like famous person, like really famous person comes in, like flies into the country, like there'll be fans waiting in the airport, and you're like, how did they find out what time they're flying into the country? Like, how are they there?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
You know?
it is mad. It's like, yeah, like that is something that nowadays you'd be like, what the hell, like. But it's so
Yeah.
even like when Penny Lane was going around, when she went into like the hotel kind of at the start, and everyone was like, oh, Penny Lane, like Bob Dylan's manager knew her, and like everyone was like mad.
Mm.
So she's been doing this that long, like,
Yeah.
so that like everyone in the industry seems
Everyone knew her, yeah.
to be being there, like it's so weird. Yeah.
Do you remember the argument on the plane? And they all thought they're gonna die, so they were like, "Fuck it!" Like, you know,
Yeah.
like even I forget who said it, but they said they ran over somebody with a car, and it's still
The new manager they got, like the
Yeah.
professional, the one who got the plate from, that was so
Jimmy Fallon.
funny.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's so funny that was Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah. I was like, I saw him get introduced. I was like, he looks familiar. And then halfway through, I was like, is that Jimmy Fallon? Like,
Yeah.
and then it cut to a close up of him, and I was like,
He was
oh,
a talk show host. He was in a load.
yeah. Yeah, he was in Band of Brothers as well for like one scene, but it was like,
God.
I remember seeing it, and I was like,
So random.
why is he here?
Yeah,
literally.
White.
Those were amazing.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon. Now, I must say, when he came in, he like he was saying, "Oh, this fella's here to like be his manager," and like you were like, "Nah, there's nothing he could say." Where he was like, "It's like I'm the next. You won't make it without me. You know, like your manager got you as far as he could, but like
Yeah.
you won't go anywhere,
Yeah.
and it'll be the biggest regret of your life." He says, "I'll be waiting outside. If you want me, you can have me, but I'll be gone on to like 10 more people." Like he kind of was
Yeah.
acting like, oh, there's so many people like he, and you guys, you need me to be big.
Yeah, he's like, I don't need you. But
Yeah.
and that is just how the music industry works, and that's something that hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
It's kind of like you rely on management and like record labels so much, and it is a control thing. Like, and I think now more
It
than ever,
is.
like
It's crazy. It's
how
crazy.
much
Like,
power they actually have over someone's career and like what they produce and stuff.
yeah.
Like it is madness. And even like with the whole like thing with the press, like when he was like everything that he'd written was true, and like that he put out Rolling Stone, and then when they found out, they were like, oh fuck it, like I didn't say that, I didn't do that. And like we got to see like they did say all those things, and they did do all those things.
Yeah.
Kind of way, and how they tried to like cover it up so
Yeah.
quickly then
Makes you think.
by lying about it. It was like that happens all the time, like
Of
Yeah.
course it does,
that
yeah.
happens, like yeah.
Jeez, makes you
Crazy.
think if like all labels do that, like, you know, like is there way more that like musicians have done, and they're like, no, you can't print that. You know, like,
Yeah.
is there other sides to like say Fleetwood Mac or like the Rolling Stones or the Beatles?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think it.
It's true actually, yeah.
I love I think the character development of William and Penny through the whole movie was just like really good. Like, you know,
Yeah.
the Quaalude scene when Penny overdoses on Ludes.
Yeah.
That was like a really like powerful scene, I thought, with William and her and him getting the doctor in, and they pumped her stomach up. Like, Jesus, it was grim, but it was like so. It like then the next time William and Penny spoke, it was like she had just like changed her life pretty much. It was like, yeah, no, I realize how wrong I've been, you know.
Yeah.
Mad.
Yeah, even the way Quaaludes are like mentioned, because Quaaludes are like we mentioned in several like films like Wall Street and stuff, and
Yeah.
Wall Street and a few others, and like it's there's like common like drug references kind of mentioned without the film. Like even the radio station, there was the guy was just smoking a joint. He didn't
And
even
he
know.
just
what-
had it, he just writes him through the whole interview, like,
Yeah.
And he was like, I think that was good, yeah.
And even the acid reference, like there was a big like kind of like music does follow with drugs, and like even the mother was scared for her child, and even makes you think like where all the other mothers to everybody else, like, you know, kind of like, you know, like, and she even like yelled at her son when he was going into the interview to
the very first time.
the very first time she yelled, "Don't do drugs," and all the other kids turned around and just laughed at her.
Yeah.
Like, I think there was like a big kind of drug reference kind of like the whole time. Like, I suppose that's kind of, it follows by music, you know.
Yeah.
It is.
It kind of fit. It kind of like fit the era as well, though, of it being in the 70s. Like, it actually kind of was. That was the way kind of things were at the time.
And even like with Quaaludes, like there were more drugs around at that time, because like you can't get Quaaludes now. They're not. They were just and they were legal and everything at the time. They are kind of like a sign of the times back then of like everything was a drug. There was opioids that aren't legal now that were legal back then. Like, you get your hands on anything. Like, it is crazy. Like, and I thought the part at the end where Russell calls Penny and he's like, you know, I'm not with the wife anymore or anything. I want to start over. I'm going to come to you this time rather than you follow me all over the country or whatever. And he's like, can I get your address? And she's like, yeah, do you have a pen? And he ends up at William's house and he just doesn't know for ages. And then they're like, oh, you're here for me? And he's just like, I don't know where I am. Like, and then it's only when he sees the photos and he's like, oh, I spoke to you on the phone, blah, blah, blah. And she sent him to Williams because she was like, it's too late for me to get an apology. Like, she's like, you know, it is too late for him to apologize to Penny. Like, she's gone and she's past that now.
Yeah.
He's like, you do owe William an apology, but she didn't want to tell him that. She just wanted him to go there straight away because she knew he wouldn't do it by himself.
Yeah.
And then he gets the interview. It is just really cool. Like, he got the interview at the final scene in his childhood bedroom. Like,
mad.
Yeah.
I loved when the guitarist, I keep forgetting his name, and you just said it, didn't you?
Russell,
Russell. Gee.
Yeah.
I loved when Russell like took the phone off William to talk to his mother, and his mother, like William's mother, freaked Russell out. So funny. Yeah. He was like, yes ma'am.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, it is brilliant. Like, yeah, she's just such a brilliant actress though.
Yeah.
And I just thought she's just, and I thought actually Jason Lee, the fella who played like the lead singer with the long hair, I thought he was brilliant in it. Like,
yeah, he was.
Intensity, and like the whole way through, like the whole kind of like jealousy in the band of like him and Russell, like when the t-shirts come out and everything, and like how pissed off he is, but he just won't say it at all. And then it's like when everyone says everything on the plane, it's like all your problems would have been solved if you just said this normally. Like, it's kind of like, why did it take like a plane nearly crashing, all these things, like if you're in a band together and you're with each other every day.
And it kind of like when they were doing when he released the article, he was like, none of this is fucking true. And then one of them is just yeah, it is, like, yeah, all this did happen, like, you know, he's not lying, I did give him permission to write all of it, like, you know? And it's like, well, we gotta fight this shit, you know. You can't get him like saying bad shit about us. The public don't see us like this, like, you know.
He was like, we're seen as like jealous amateurs and like, you know, just like a pop band or something.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, well, it's all true. Like, we are amateurs. We just got a real manager. But it's just the ego in the music industry are just
Oh yeah, definitely.
I thought it was strange how like they clearly, like, the band members did not get on well, but they still held together for the entire tour. And like, even after the plane crash, you see like the plane almost crashing, and they
Yeah.
all admitted how much they fucking hate each other.
Yeah.
Like, they were still together at the like front of the hotel or wherever they were when they were talking about like how to get rid of William's article.
Yeah.
And they were like it reminded me of do you know George Harrison? His
Yeah.
wife at some point cheated on him with Eric Clapton, who wrote like Layla and
Oh
all that.
yeah.
And they were still like friends after it. And I was like, how can you be friends with someone who just, cheated on,
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's just so weird. But like, I guess it's music or something,
Most bands are like that though. Like that's
Yeah.
why they always really end up breaking up. Like they usually
Yeah.
just don't get on. Like
Yeah, it's the hardest thing to keep a band together. Like there's all
yeah.
jealousy, or like people who are like, oh, I like everyone else in the band, but I don't like this one person. Or
Yeah, and you're
I'd say it is the hardest thing to keep a band together. Like,
Oh, yeah.
definitely like especially touring and all.
Yeah, like you're with these people
anything like
Literally
nearly
living in each other's
24/7,
back
like,
pocket,
and you're
yeah.
working together. And if one person messes up, that's on,
yeah,
it's just, it's crazy. Like, and that has to stay for like however many years you want to keep going with the music.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is just madness. Like,
What do you think of the film overall?
I thought it was really good.
yeah,
I thought it was good.
Yeah. Definitely would recommend.
Out of 10, I'd say 7. I'd say 7. So it was really, really good. Yeah.
I'd say 8. 8 out of 10.
yeah.
Thought it was very good. Good character development, and I love a coming of age movie.
Same.
I do give it a 10 out of 10 because of I think there's a lot of stuff you don't see in it. That's kind of like reference, kind of like if you watch it again, you actually feel like you're still getting something out of it because the stuff kind of hidden there you don't see every time. So yeah, I did like it, and the music and stuff, and the actors are like kind of coming of age and stuff, and like even William is like, I say it was like one of his first big hits, and I really did like it. Now they're really good.
Yeah, I'd say I'd give it a 9. I do think it is. Well, I don't know if, I suppose it's kind of hard to sell it. I'd say it was just a bit long. Now I don't know if that's just because cut or whatever it is. It is just a tiny bit long, but I just think like the scoring of it, the editing, the story is just so strong, and like the screenplay is just fantastic, and like the character development is just brilliant. Like, and that's kind of the main thing of a film, is like the characters that are there. Like, so I think it was pretty good. Right, so next film then is Connor's choice.
What are we watching, Connor?
I had two ideas now. I say I'll give you a choice if you want, but
Okay.
All right, so The Perks of Being a Wallflower is my favorite film now, right? And I was debating about Project X as well.
So which one?
Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Yeah.
I go with whatever you want. Go whatever you want.
I'll go with that.
Yeah, Perks of Being a Wallflower. Yeah, I say it's similar to like what we've all kind of like been kind of going on as well.
It's kind of a coming of age story as well.
Yeah.
Coming of age stories are like almost famous. Yeah. Perfect. So right, we'll be
I'm
back.
excited to watch it.
Great.
We'll wrap it up anyway. Thanks for coming.
No.
Thanks for
you.
watching, lads.
Next week on
review
the review podcast.
Yeah.
All right.